This is Somya
and Amani, logging in now. Hi, as I stated earlier, my name is Amani Rao. I'm currently a 9th grader at Northern Burlington County Regional High School.
And my name is Somya Singh. I'm a 9th grader as well from the Northern Burlington County Regional High School.
Welcome everyone. In this podcast, we will be covering the topic of, drumroll, perspectives. They are important in daily life since I feel they cover both sides of a story, give extremely insightful details, and never, you heard it guys, never give an incorrect answer. In some cases, perspectives can even match each other or cover similar ideas.
I definitely agree with that. Now, first of all, I would say perspectives are, as everyone knows, kind of known as point of views. This concept is different for everyone, and as Amani said, they can never have a wrong answer. Now, for example, let's take a story. The story is The Blind Man and the Elephant, which actually explains the story of 6 blind men who are asked to identify an object in front of them, which is, surprise, an elephant. Now, to do so, they had to touch the elephant.
Oh, I'm also really familiar with this story as well, and to elaborate on it, the first man who touched the leg of the elephant said that the object was a pillar. That's pretty shocking. The second man who touched the tail of the elephant said that the object was a rope. Wow. The third man who touched the trunk of the elephant said that it was a tree branch. That's a pretty interesting inference, but I can go with it. The fourth man who touched the ear said that it was a fan. The fifth man who touched the elephant's stomach said that it was a huge wall. And finally, the last man who touched the tusk said that the object was a solid man. Wow. And based off this interesting story, I felt that it showed that each person was not wrong, but also not correct in a way, as they described their own feelings from their own point of view on the elephant. They described the texture and feeling of where they were on the elephant. So, based off these examples, it showed that there is never a wrong answer in perspective, since each person from their own perspective describes or speaks what they feel.
Right, now, obviously that's another reason why perspective is so important. Let's think of another one. I would say another reason that perspective is important is really it helps understand both sides, of a story.
Right, I felt the same way, since I feel perspective highlights how each person sees the world, and each and everyone interprets the world differently.
Yeah, each person, they have their own background, culture, beliefs, which seems to act like filters, I want to say, shaping how people see the world. Now, there are many examples of this, but one that I actually thought in mind that we read before is called a book called Shitala, written by Mitra Desai.
Yes, I felt Shitala was a very interesting book, and I learned so much from it, not just in a way of like a fun story, but also informationally in the real world, since it's a real world story. So the gist of the book was that it's about a girl named Tara, and she believed her grandfather's theory was wrong. Now, what is this theory, you may all wonder? The theory was the fact that India was the first to create vaccines. Tara disagrees with this entirely, and the whole book is based on her attempting to prove her grandfather wrong.
However, surprise again, Tara's grandfather was right all along.
Wow, that's such a shocking twist. But in reality, it seems that India helped with many vaccines and paved the path for many.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. Now, in the book, I believe the example was given was smallpox. And although we all know Dr. Edward Jenner was really the one who invented the cure itself, I feel like India really paved the way for it, right? With more research, I found out that an Indian practice called variolation is a method of inoculation, which involves a weakened form of smallpox to induce immunity.
Yeah, and elaborating on that research, although that was not the cure itself, India definitely helped contribute to it. Now, that's reason number 2 for y'all.
Yep. Now, the final reason on why we think perspectives are needed and important is because it really causes you to have a deeper understanding, and there's always a meaning to it.
That's such an interesting idea, Somya. And a question that I've been wondering about the idea is, why do we need to tell our own stories?
That is a really good question, Amani. It's really in-depth as well. Now, I would say there are multiple reasons. 1, our stories really shape how we see ourselves. By telling them our point of view, we can ensure experiences and 2, really portray accurately and say our thoughts.
Right. I mean, adding on, when we share our perspectives through stories, we create bridges to others. People can connect with shared experiences or learn from those unlike our own. In addition, I feel telling our own stories is about taking ownership of our perspectives and our experiences.
Yeah, I mean, perspective is a concept that has such a deep meaning from a particular person's point of view.
Well, Soumya, that was a very, very interesting conversation, and I had a great time discussing the idea of POV and the effect it has on others and myself. Even the stories were very, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that sums it up. That's the conclusion of our podcast, guys. We hope all you listeners learned a lot on this topic and really understood the idea of perspective and the importance of telling our own stories.
In addition, we hope you were able to connect to the stories we shared and take away the lessons we discussed in our conversation.
This is Soumya
and Amani signing off now.